Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 26th of February and we are going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. The third party application provider TPAP. 197 Communications, the parent company of Paytm, has requested the RBI to let it become a third party application provider so that it can facilitate UPI payments through its app. Wasn't it a TPAP earlier? Wasn't it facilitating the UPI payments from its platform? Yes, it was. But these payments were routed via the Paytm Payments Bank. Paytm Payments Bank was registered as a TPAP with NPCI, that is National Payments Corporation of India. Now, March 15 has been given the deadline for the stopping of functioning of Paytm Payments Bank, and that is why Paytm is now requesting that to continue the UPI payments, the TPAP has to be transferred from Paytm Payments Bank to 197 Communication Private Limited. So RBI has got this request from 197 Communications. RBI has asked NPCI that whether that can be done or not. If yes, then there should be transfer of all the data from Paytm Payments Bank to here, the new TPAP which will be produced. Next is Bharat GPT unveils Hanuman. What it is? It is a multimodal AI project which will give you responses to your queries, and these responses can be in the form of texts, videos, images, audios, anything. Presently, this is being developed by the Bharat GPT, which is led by IIT Bombay, and there are 7 other leading engineering colleges in India part of it. It is being funded by none other than Reliance. Now, this Hanuman will give information just like ChatGPT in 4 domains. These are healthcare, education, governance, and finance. Next month, it is going to be unveiled. Next is income tax by political parties. Are political parties eligible to pay income tax? Now, the Income Tax Act under the Section 13A highlights various sources through which incomes of the political parties are there and exempts those sources of incomes for income tax. Apart from those sources, any other sources from which the income is coming to the political parties and it breaches the minimum threshold, then it has to pay income tax. So if I say that political parties are completely exempt from paying income tax, no, it has to pay income tax in certain conditions. So this is what the case is. The Congress is alleging that the IT department has taken 65 crore rupees from its account and deposited as tax. So let's see what the details are. So the first is third party application provider. Now to understand this, we need to understand that how UPI works. First of all, here is a customer. He goes to a merchant. This customer's bank account is there. Okay. This customer is me. Let's suppose I go to a merchant's place where I have to do the payment by using UPI. I have UPI in my phone. So I go there, merchant. Merchant will be having his or her bank account. Now UPI is basically that infrastructure which links the bank accounts of me and the bank account of the merchant. The payment will flow from here to here. UPI is owned by NPCI, National Payments Corporation of India. And me in my phone, in my mobile phone, I will be having various apps. Okay. That app can be Paytm or Google Pay or MobiKwik, or there are 22 such applications in India which are basically facilitating UPI payments. UPI is owned by NPCI, bank are there, and these are third party applications which facilitate the payments from one bank to the other bank via UPI. These are called as third party application providers. They have provided those applications in the mobile phones through which payments can be facilitated. So it is like this. Now Paytm is facilitating UPI payments, but Paytm has registered itself as a TPAP with NPCI. You have to register yourself with NPCI if you want to become a third party application provider. Now Paytm had registered itself with NPCI, but now Paytm is saying that One97 Communications should be registered as the TPAP. Earlier, Paytm Payments Bank was the registered TPAP with NPCI. So all the UPI transactions were routed through Paytm payment banks and then went to third party banks. Like this it was. Now this Paytm payment bank, the story is finished almost. 15th March is the date which RBI has currently given. So this actually, Paytm wants to facilitate or keep on facilitating UPI payments, which does not involve Paytm payment bank because it involves bank account of you and bank account of others. So it will only be able to facilitate UPI payments only and only if this TPAP which is registered is shifted from Paytm payment banks to One97 Communications. And this is what the request has been given by One97 Communications to RBI, and RBI has asked NPCI whether this can happen or not. TPAP approval is mandatory to provide UPI based payment transactions to the customers. Without TPAP approval, you cannot provide. As simple as that. Okay. So we need to understand this. How are UPI transactions routed presently in Paytm? Currently, all UPI transactions on the Paytm app are being routed through Paytm Payments Bank Limited, an associate company of One97 Communications, which is the registered TPAP. Now, Paytm Payment Bank Limited is scheduled to shut its operations by March 15. So, this has to be transferred. The One97 Communications is wanting that it should get, so that at least UPI payments can be facilitated. Now, what is TPAP? A third party application provider is an entity that provides UPI compliant applications to the end user customers, like my phone was having that app, to facilitate UPI based payment transactions. These applications could be mobile wallets, merchant apps, or any other platform that utilizes UPI for payments. NPCI, the umbrella organization for operating retail payments, is basically responsible and owner of UPI platform. And it is responsible for issuing these, I would say, allowances to the TPAPs. How many TPAPs are there in India currently? There are 22 basically TPAPs, NPCI approved third party unified payment interface apps that can be used to send and receive money from other UPI users. Google Pay, Phone Pay, Jupiter Money, Samsung Pay, MobiKwik, Tata Neu, WhatsApp, Amazon Pay, multiple are there. So in total 22 are there. Now what happens if 197 Communications Limited gets the approval, then another task has to be done. That task is @Paytm UPI IDs, because you all have UPI IDs if you are using UPI, and that UPI ID is generated by TPAP only for you. So generally you will find @OK access @OK BOB, something like this. Now those people who had their UPIs on Paytm, they had their @Paytm, and the TPAP was Paytm Payments Banks. So all those IDs have to be transferred to a new domain which 197 Communications Limited will create. Until all the IDs are not shifted, no new additions will be there, no new registrations of UPIs will be there. This is the clear mandate given by RBI. OCL will not be allowed to add new users until all the existing users are migrated satisfactorily to a new handle, the regulator said. So the UPI IDs which were of this @Paytm, they have to be transferred to a new domain name if OCL will be allowed. Then only, and if all the IDs which are transferred, all the IDs when they are transferred, then only new users will be added. Now next is Bharat GPT unveils HANOOMAN. You might all have heard about ChatGPT, might have used it also. You type an input and or ask a question, then you get a response. The response can be in the form of text, in the form of speech, in the form of videos, etc., etc. This is what AI is, artificial intelligence is. And you get the response within no time, because these are large language models which have interpreted, understood the inputs, and designed various responses for those inputs. And the more usage of these kind of large language models means more inputs it receives, the better it becomes over time. That is what machine learning is. Now Bharat GPT, basically it is an organization which is headed by IIT Bombay and comprises of 7 other elite engineering institutes of the country, funded by Reliance, is set to unveil its first ChatGPT-like platform of India, that is HANOOMAN. And this is going to be launched next month. So it has unveiled this month. And this HANOOMAN, basically a series of Indic language models, means it will be responding to you in Indian languages. Not all Indian languages, but yes, many Indian languages have been incorporated. And this has been developed in collaboration with Sita Mahalakshmi Healthcare, SML. What is HANOOMAN? It is a series of large language models that can respond in 11 Indian languages like Hindi, Tamil and Marathi, with plans to expand to more than 20 languages. So you have an AI which is in indigenous languages in the form of HANOOMAN. From next month you will be having. In which field HANOOMAN will help? Presently HANOOMAN is restricted to only 4 fields. One is education, healthcare, finance and governance. So governance, financial services, education and healthcare. Is it a chatbot? Chatbot, we all might use online shopping platforms like Myntra or Flipkart or Amazon, where you have a problem, then you type your problem and then you chat, immediately a response comes. So is HANOOMAN a chatbot? No, HANOOMAN is not a chatbot. It isn't just a chatbot. It is a multimodal AI tool which can generate text, speech, videos and more in multiple Indian languages. One of the first customized version is Visi GPT. It is an AI model fine-tuned for healthcare. So one of this is healthcare. No? One of the domains in which Hanuman will be working is healthcare. So specifically for healthcare is VisiGPT. Sorry. So this is what Hanuman is. What are large language models? We should also understand this. They are deep learning techniques. You give an input to a machine, that is the computer. The computer understands your input, analyzes your input, and it forms or frames responses and gives you the responses. Now, the more number of inputs it receives over the years or over the period of time, the better its responses will be. Because it also kind of assesses itself over time. It learns. So this is what machine learning is. So large language models use deep learning techniques. Learning techniques, why? Because over the years they should become efficient to process large amounts of text. They work by processing vast amounts of text, understanding the structure and meaning and learning from it. LLMs are trained to identify meanings and relationships between the words. The greater the amount of training data a model is fed, the smarter it gets at understanding and producing text. So you go and enter a question in ChatGPT, you get a response. So similar kind of questions may be entered by multiple other people also, and responses will be there, and then it also assesses that what was the click, on which response was the click, which is the most authentic response. Like these, it learns over the period, over time, and it frames more and more, I would say, accurate responses with time. The training data is usually large data sets such as Wikipedia, open web text, and the common crawl corpus. They take these texts and frame the responses from these large data sets like Wikipedia or these things which have been mentioned. So these are large language models. Next is income tax by political parties. Are political parties eligible to pay income tax? If I say no, I would be wrong. They are, but in certain cases. Now, a case has come up where the Congress party has alleged that the income tax department has taken 65 crore rupees from its accounts. Its accounts means the accounts of the Congress, the Youth Congress, National Students Union of India, NSUI, terming it as economic terrorism. Now, are political parties eligible to pay taxes? The Income Tax Act 1961 exempts political parties registered by the Election Commission and the Representation of Peoples Act 1951 from paying income tax with some conditions. So now, since there are some conditions, so we cannot say that 100% they are exempted. They will have to pay tax in certain conditions. Now, the incomes of a political party which are exempted. Section 13A of the Act, which pertains to special provisions relating to incomes of political parties, this is Income Tax Act, says any income under the heads of income from house property, income from other sources, capital gains, income from voluntary contributions shall not be included in the total income of the previous year of the party. Shall not be included, hence they are exempted. And this exemption is valid as long as the treasurer of the party or any other person authorized by the party submits a declaration of its donations to the Election Commission of India before due date of filing income tax returns. So that information should be there with Election Commission of India. That information should be there in ITR also while filing ITRs, that we got this much income or this much donation from this source, or this is the total income. And if the incomes are lying under this head, it will be exempt from income tax. But if the incomes are lying or coming from apart from these sources which were mentioned over here, and the income is above that threshold which is taxable, which is coming in taxable income, then the political party has to pay the income tax. Parties are required to file their returns. Now, even if the party is eligible for not paying income tax, zero income tax is there according to your assessment and all, then also you have to file zero ITR. So, parties are required to file their returns if their total income, before taking into account the exemptions under section 13A, is higher than the income tax exemption limit, then it has to pay income tax. Now let's suppose the income limit is 7 lakh. A political party has received 50 lakh rupees. Out of this 50 lakh rupees, 40 lakh has come from those 4 sources which are mentioned in section 13A of ITR. And the remaining 10 lakh have come from all those sources apart from those 4 sources mentioned in section 13A of that. Now in this scenario, they will be eligible for paying income tax. Their taxable income will be 10 minus 7, 3 lakh. And on this 3 lakh, the tax will be computed and that political party will have to pay the income tax. This is the simple, it is not 100% exempt. Okay, so this is how we need to understand this, and with this we come to an end of today's session. I will be meeting you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.